I have a question about the preconditions for this kind of conjecture working, and perhaps an explanation about its decline in the 19th century. It seems to work, and this is very true to the rhetorical tradition, on analogy. That is, it has to be comprehensible to your current audience, the reasoning of attributed to the past. So it suggests a kind of anti-historicism with respect to certain psychological preconditions. So Acosta's wonderful argument of who the hell would want to take a fox with them? I
Or a
mean,
skunk, you should read it on
right,
skunks.
exactly, is self-evident to people who may shun foxes, but those who think about foxes as the first step to the domestication of dogs may have different views. So that would suggest, this is a conjecture, that historicism is deadly for this form of argument. Because if you continue to insist on the pastness of the past to the point of insisting that psychology was different and many other commonplaces were different, this kind of argument begins to lose its sway. As I say, this is a conjecture. I also have a conjecture about why Adam Smith thought he was doing something different, but I'll save it for the reception.
Oh, I think he was doing something different. What's remarkable is the absence of a reference to the past, not the, well, no, he was doing something quite different. But first of all, on this, yes, the one of the core methods in rhetorical hermeneutics is verisimilitude, and verisimilitude insists that you know what is likely to be true, and that's because you know how people behave, and so they will have behaved one way at one time and one way at another. So it should go that way, but it doesn't. Vala's history of Alfonso, Front of Aragon, is a deliberate violation of all of the precepts of verisimilitude. He can use them when he wants to, but when he doesn't, he has the king, like our king, falling asleep at public meetings and all sorts of violations of decorum. And when he's challenged, he says, well, that's what happened. So I think actually the story is more complicated than you suggest. And the other thing I think is that I don't think conjectural history dies at all in the 19th century. It moves and it becomes Darwinian evolution. It becomes Freud and Moses. It becomes lots of things which have a huge, huge popular impact. So as I always liked, I think I may have argued with you about Athanasius Kircher. Athanasius Kircher is a terrible historian. He's always wrong, just always wrong. But he helps Bernini design the Piazza Navona. Now, what would you like to have on your epitaph? He was always right, or Bernini thought he was an intelligent man and listened to him about how to set the obelisk monument up. I think I'd rather go for that one. So I think, I do think that, we can press this too far, but I don't disagree with you that I do think that 18th century conjectural history is also much more often very, very naive about psychology and its changes, even though they think they're not being naive. But I think that's really one of its features where it's really not very good at looking at itself. So in that way, I think that may continue. That may be a continuing legacy from my people. Think of that.